Guys, so I'm going to do a quick how to change your transmission fluid in your 97 to 2001 CRV 5-speed manual, if you have that. So this is pretty simple. Sorry for the camera angles to be all around. I don't have all my setup stuff right now, and I'm not going to get it all set up here because I'm trying to get this done today. So I am basically going to do that, and at the same time I'm actually going to do a video. I'll make it a separate video, but I'll shoot it around the same time. So if you see this in there, that way you're not confused if you watch both the vids. I am actually installing the Dubsky skid plate that actually goes on the lowest part of the transmission, and for the manuals. Installing his product and putting it on while I'm doing this, because I got to drain transmission fluid anyways, and I just want to make sure. I don't think much will leak out, but just want to make sure, you know, nothing's in there. You're just doing a drain and refill, and got a new crush washer for the drain plug and for the fill plug. So it should be pretty simple. What we're gonna do is walk over here, and here's some future stuff for you guys for the wife's CRV soon. Right there is the drain plug. You're going to stick in a 3/8 ratchet in there, and just crack that sucker loose. Look at that spider web. That's how long I've been since. I don't know if you guys can see that. A bunch of spider webs under here. It's been how long I haven't driven this thing. But yeah, I'm going to start driving it here more. Got some stuff to do there. But anyways, we're going to be draining it out, and I'll come back to you guys and show you the fill plug. And then we're actually going to be putting that skid plate right around here too. So guys, so you can get yourself a little bucket to catch the oil in, whatever you got. And then you're gonna get your nice 3-inch, or I keep saying it, 3/8 ratchet. So a little tired today, so bear with me. So you're gonna get that in there, and you're gonna crack it loose. Shouldn't be too hard. And you're gonna take that plug out. Try and not make a mess while I'm holding the camera with you guys. Let's see what comes out. I have not changed this. Yikes. I mean, it's coming out. It's got some in there, but I almost feel like it's a little low. We will see. So yeah, that's how you get it out. There's your crush washer. You're going to want to replace that if you haven't done it in a while. If it's in good shape, you might be able to get away with reusing it again, but they're so cheap. Go to Honda, grab them. Honestly, they're not expensive at all. You can get both for like $1 or $2, and trust me, it's much better off just to replace it. Alright, so we're going to take the old one off here. Might not be able to get it off with one hand. So if you have some trouble, you can always grab, I'll set the camera up here and show you. Grab a set of pliers, or a lot of times you can just kind of wiggle it off if it's not in horrible shape, and spin the bolt at the same time. There you go. So if you guys look, you can see how, let's see if I can focus, how crushed that one is, and just pits in the middle. So that's why it's important. Here's the new one, to always replace this. So you want to make sure the flat side is touching against the transmission. Anyways, is what I've been told and always done, and it's been fine. So new one's on. That's good to go. Okay, so now that you got down to a drip, you're pretty much good to go ahead and put the drain bolt back in. Thread it in by hand. Then we're going to crank it down about a little bit of a quarter of a way, I would say. Yes, you should probably do this with a torque wrench if you've never done it. I've done it so many times. It just, I don't know. I just know the feeling of where the right spot is. So give it a little quarter turn. Crush that new crush washer in. Make sure it's tight. You don't want to overturn it and strip it, or make it too tight where it starts leaking. I'm going to get a rag, clean that up, and I'll be back. Alright guys, next up, hopefully soon I'll have one of those hood lights that go all the way across. I want to get, because lighting sucks in certain areas of the garage right now. But make life a lot easier to refill. You're going to want to get your stock airbox if you have the stock airbox out of the way. Now there's a 10mm, let's see if you guys can see it. It's a 10mm plug, right, or not plug, bolt, I should say. That's a pain in the butt to try to get it. There you go. It's not one to focus. Anyways, down there, mine is broken. Generally, a lot of people have broken them before due to them just rusting or having issues. So mine is broken before I got it, and Don't really need to worry about that one, but a lot of times you could just loosen that one and it's more of a nub style and you can slide it off. You're going to want to worry about your two right here. They're going to be 10 millimeter. And I kind of think somebody might have already cross-threaded that one there. Oh well, we're going to be replacing the intake, or the stock intake, with an aftermarket anyways soon. So not a big deal to me. But you want to get that off and out of the way. I usually put both bolts up out of there so they're just, you know, not falling anywhere. And then you're going to want to wiggle this. It's going to be kind of hard for me to do this with holding you guys. So I'm going to put you right here. I'm going to put you guys right here. Maybe you can see what I'm doing a little bit. But you're going to want to slide this intake hose off without ripping it. A lot of these are old, so they are generally dry rotted to hell. So you want to try not to ruin your hose if you plan on trying to keep it. And just make sure you're pulling on one side, taking this whole airbox off, and then it should come off all as one piece. And then you have the bottom of the airboxes right there, the bottom of the airbox, sorry, in your tube. So same thing, when you put it back on, you just slide it back on. I'll show you that, but pretty easy. You're gonna want to get, if I can get a good look, okay, so I'm going to show this through the bottom, but let's see if I can show you through the top so you know what you're looking at. I don't think it's going to want to focus on that bolt. But anyways, you can see that bolt just barely. It's not focusing well. I'm going to get down there and show you. Well, damn. I just cleared that spider web out, and he was still alive. He wasn't a big guy, but right down there, he probably had like a whole layer full of snacks. Months worth of work. He was not happy about that. But yeah, he was about to be evicted anyways the moment I moved this thing, so he's out of the way. But anyways, let's see. I got this jacked up, obviously. I forgot to say that, obviously. Jack it up on jack stand. I don't have it up super high, so it's just barely off the ground because the RV sits up a little bit higher anyways. I could have probably made myself a little bit more room. That would have been better, but oh well, we're here. Okay, so do you guys see that nut right there with the crush washer on it? Or that bolt? That's what we're taking out. That's a 17 millimeter. That is your fill plug. So we got to crack that open. And I don't think this thing has been cracked open in a long time. Make sure that turned it. Yes, it did. Okay, good. Whew. I might have stripped off it or something. Alright. So you're going to want to have a funnel with a tube to get in here, or one of those nice thin pumps. But honestly, the funnel with the tube works best compared to trying to get that pump funnel in there. Alright, so you're going to have a new washer. If you got one, right? If not, you're gonna have to reuse this one. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but you want to make sure that little tube, or however, whatever funnel you got, is running up there and is in there tight. So as long as you're in there good, you're gonna fill it till it starts to slowly come back out, and then once it starts to come back out, drip out, you are good to go. So, okay, so replacing the old crush washer, pretty simple, just like the other side. Flat side against the transmission, round side up against the plug. Bam, that's done. Should be good to go. Hey guys, so I'm not going to hold the phone here the whole time with this because it'd be kind of a pain in the ass. I don't have something to hold the phone or the camera right now. So I had a longer funnel tube. This one kind of sucks, kind of short, but it got right down in there. But you get the gist of what I'll be doing. I will be pouring it down there, and we want to make sure it's not running out in the transmission, so I'm going to have to hold it up. And I'll be back after I get what needs to go in and show you guys how you kind of know when it's full. See when it starts dripping out like that? That is when you pretty much got it full, and you're going to want to go ahead and put the plug in there. Now I am losing a little bit of brand new fluid. Not a big deal, it's what I've already poured down the funnel, but I wanted to show you guys that. I already finished tightening that, but you basically want to get your 17 millimeter in there, get it pretty snug, then give it about a quarter turn, crush that crush washer, and then you're good to go. Use whatever you got to wipe this up, or if you got brake parts cleaner, I definitely clean up your oil just so you don't have shit sticking everywhere, you know, dust and dirt and everything. But I'll come back up here and hit it with some brake parts cleaner. There we go. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you do your transmission fluid for your manual transmission. All-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, same process. Transmission's gonna be the same. The only difference you're gonna have is transfer case, and that fluid does go into the transfer case in the front. Now the rear diff is different. I will be doing a video on that, on the dual pump fluid that you'll want to use on that if you're staying OEM. But yeah, hope that helps, guys. Pretty easy and simple. Just fill it up till it starts draining out a little bit, and you're pretty much good to go. It's not that hard to do. Drain plug's right there. And if you guys are looking for the skid plate, I'm going to talk to him more and see if he has a link and if he's officially got these out, because this was sent to me a little while, and due to the medical stuff I was not able to get to it. So if the Dubsky skid plate is ready, I will let you guys know also, okay? Put your airbox back on. You're going to wobble it back in there. Intake tube, fall right down. It's probably going to be easier for me, honestly. Wobble that back on there. And it's got these two little nubs right there where you'll know if it's lined up. And then we're going to get it back lined up down here. Go. Make sure I'm back into the frame bolt holes. Go, good to go. So just make sure you're lined back up in right there, close as you can get. One probably needs to be wiggled a little bit more. There we go. And then just bolt it back in the holes and you're good to go. And that's pretty much how you can change your manual transmission fluid. You can get, I know a lot of people ask me, I always go with Honda. You guys can go with Valvoline, whatever you want to do. If you got race car money, get you some AMS oil, whatever you want to get, but Honda OEM transmission fluids always work good for me for what I'm doing in there. So yeah, I've been happy with it, and it's not terribly expensive, but yeah, the auto parts store you might be able to find stuff a little bit cheaper. Just go with what you guys, you know, want to go with, and me, I'll just stick to the basics on it, and it has always worked right for me. It's easy to go get, and as you guys saw, pretty simple, quick, easy fix to change your transmission fluid if you want to. Not too bad. Now I'm going to go ahead and relax because it is hot as hell in this garage. Guys, I want to do a quick thing because I know I was going to get some questions on it. I've had it in the past. Now, it is normal to see some metal shavings in there. Now, some of those are air bubbles. They just look like metal shavings and from the actual video. But you see how there's some shavings in there? Some metal on there? You are going to see that in there in the reflection. Now, trust me, because the video and I'm in the light, it looks a lot worse than it does. And there'd be some times if we were over here, if I was in the dark area, you're not even going to see it in there. See what I mean? So you are going to normally have some metal shavings in there. I mean, especially if you have a higher mileage, older RD1, RD2, RD3, whatever whatever you got. It's if you find some big chunks or a lot of metal shavings, like a lot come out. And I'm talking like you're going to know, like you run your finger through it and your whole finger's full of metal, you know. So don't worry about if you have a little bit of metal shavings in there. It happens, wear and tear. Same thing with your oil pan. You have a little bit in there, here and there. It's the bigger chunks or a lot of little chunks, like constantly coming out every time you change it, and enough that you could literally run your finger and just pick them up. Trust me, I've blown a few motors and transmissions and seen it. That little bit that you see in there, you're not gonna have to worry about. And on the higher mileage transmissions, automatic also, you're gonna have it. It's gonna happen. They're just A lot of these CRVs are at 150,000 to 250,000 or higher, you know, so it just kind of depends where you're at. So just wanted to make sure I covered that for you guys and let you guys know. Don't worry about that too much unless you have a consistency of almost as much metal as you do oil. No, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. If you have a lot of metal coming out, all right? So have a good one, guys.